Happy Hump Day. We have made it halfway through the week, y'all. I'm Stacey Spivey with Lauren Coleman, Jalen Gilkey, and Eric Chilton.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome to the 4 to 5, whether you're watching on air, online, Roku, Fire Stick, and the WFNY News 2 app. Lots to discuss today, but we do have some big news. We want to start with this hour with an update on a cold case that has captivated the Triad, a task force charged with investigating the 2002 murders of Jennifer Short, and her parents are starting their investigation over from scratch along with the FBI's help.
Michael and Mary Short were found shot to death in their Henry County home on August 15, 2002. The body of 9-year-old daughter Jennifer Short was found weeks later in a ditch in Rockingham County. Back in 2019, the Short family home caught fire. Authorities reported the fire and murders did not seem to be connected. No arrests have been made. The FBI and task force will review all aspects of the case.
Greensboro police arrested a man they believe is tied to 2 separate sexual assaults. Marco D'Angelo King is charged with first-degree rape, 2 counts of kidnapping, assault by strangulation, among other charges. Police say the first incident was reported in September, and King was arrested after the second attack this month. Authorities suspect there are other victims and urge everyone to call 911 to file a report. An outbreak of crime across the Triad with multiple shootings in Greensboro in a matter of days. Greensboro police say 1 person is injured after a shooting on Brighton Street, and then yesterday, another person was taken to the hospital after a shooting on Kildare Drive.
Also in Greensboro, an officer-involved shooting under investigation. It happened on Monday on South Elm Eugene Street.
We aren't just seeing this problem in Greensboro. 21-year-old woman there in Winston-Salem, she was shot while 2 groups of people were shooting at each other in a parking lot on Oliver's Crossing Circle. This
string of crimes has many of us wondering what's being done to stop it.
And we've heard of an organization called Cure Violence across the state, including in Greensboro. But is the organization effective? WFNY News 2's Jalen Gilkey spoke with an organizer from Cure Violence about what they've seen since launching this program.
Well, within the last 7 days, we've seen at least 5 shootings in Greensboro and Greensboro and Winston-Salem combined. At least 2 of these incidents ended up with someone losing their life. So groups like Cure Violence Greensboro are trying to step up and do things about this recent string of violence.
In our target area, where we go out and we work with our community and we talk to our community, considering some of us are from the communities that we serve. We have relationships with people that most don't have relationships with.
This group isn't about being seen in the public eye. Their goal is to reach the individuals who are close to throwing away their lives by ending someone else's.
There has been a couple of crises that we've had to deal with. And we handle it. Most don't see the work we do because our work isn't done directly in the street, but directly with individuals.
Forsyth County leaders discussed the possibility of launching a chapter in their area as well. They plan to meet with organizers in the coming weeks. If you'd like to volunteer your time and resources to Cure Violence Greensboro, or if you'd like to contact them for any reason whatsoever, I've attached contact information in this web story on WFNYnews2.com.
Greensboro police arrested a man for shooting and killing another man earlier this month. Jose Alberto Correa was shot in the plaza at Phillips Avenue near Summit Avenue. He was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. Police arrested Kevin Eric Fikes Jr. He's charged with first-degree murder and robbery with a dangerous weapon.
Davidson County Sheriff's Office has arrested another person for stealing catalytic converters. Now, deputies say Pamela Bundy was charged with aiding and abetting felony larceny. Bundy is accused of loaning her vehicle to Angela Hardin and Larry Land, knowing they were using the car to steal catalytic converters. Bundy claimed Hardin and Land offered to pay her for letting them borrow her car. Davidson County Sheriff's Office also searching for another man tied to stealing a converter from a church van. Garvey Wayne Weinger Jr. is accused of stealing a converter from a van at Arlington Heights Free Will Baptist Church. If you have any information on either of these crimes, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office.
We're making some big strides in one of our state's coronavirus numbers. The graph shows the percentage of tests coming back positive. Our latest number is 7%. Over the past 2 weeks, they fluctuated between 6 and 9%. It's an improvement from the numbers we are seeing. In all of August and September, back then we were seeing numbers as high as 14%. We're still higher than the state's goal of 5%, which is the red line, but at least we're getting closer.
The U.S. will reopen its borders for non-essential travel from Canada and Mexico next month. Borders have been closed for 19 months because of the pandemic. Travelers will need to be fully vaccinated to cross borders. By mid-January, essential travelers coming into the U.S. will need to be fully vaccinated. Travelers entering the U.S. by car, rail, or ferry will be asked their vaccination status at the border.
Well, you know, if you've driven around Winston-Salem recently, you may have noticed a series of amazing bridges. Now, they're meant not only to help traffic, but to help pedestrians and to beautify the city overall. All that hard work is giving the city some recognition these days. I spoke with Brenda Fulmore. She's the chair of the Creative Corridors Coalition about this project and how we can actually help them to win yet another award.
In Winston-Salem, you know, we're known for the city of arts and innovation. So when you talk about having iconic bridges, they have the Golden Gate Bridge, they have the Brooklyn Bridge. So we wanted iconic bridges here in Winston-Salem that sets us apart from the rest. And so we have the Twin Arches, we have the Strowway Bridge, we have the Green Street Bridge. So those bridges sets Winston-Salem apart. We won a national award through Department of Transportation, but this upcoming award is with the American Council of Engineering Companies, and we're 12 finalists for this award for the Green Street project, and we are so excited about it. We think this is a great opportunity. This is an opportunity where we can share the collaboration efforts that we've had here in the city with Department of Transportation, with the city of Winston-Salem, with the community, and with our donors. So we are very excited about this award. To walk across the Green Street Bridge and to meet other families and people and bikers just strolling across, it gives me a great feeling, and I am thoroughly excited about it because I know the work that went into making this possible. When it was just a dream, a pie in the sky, and now to see it come to full fruition, it's an awesome experience.
So just so you'll know, this is, it's really more than bridges. I mean, that's what Brenda said during the interview at one point. She said, you know, this is really more about people because they even put plants along some of these bridges. They've decorated them out. It's for people to not only to walk across, but it really is supposed to just add some beauty to the city. And apparently it's working because they won the national award for all the bridges. And then now the Green Street Bridge is up for this, another regional to national award. And everybody has to vote online. So I'm going to put the link in this story on our website, but if you go there, you can vote every day between now and I think it's a couple weeks from now. It'll be there on the website. You can vote every day, and right now they're about in 4th or 5th place, and they want to win this thing, so they need our help.
I can see why they've won so many other awards. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful, especially the ones that are like lit up at nighttime. And then some of the bridges, they just look very futuristic-like, and it goes along with that innovative theme.
Yeah, the people that do this, I think, are so creative because, you know, bridges, we use those all the time, every day. They're just structures, but the people that go in and make them creative and interesting, I think that's so cool. And you need to go vote so that our Triad peeps can win.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to tell you right now, they take this seriously. I didn't even know there was an award for something like this.
Right?
But
I
now
didn't
we
either.
know. Yes, 2 of them actually. All right, let's talk about our forecast, shall we? I think we can do that now. We can. All right, so good stuff for us in the short term. Now that is, unless you're a fan of fall, because a lot of folks are saying to us, and we'll get emails sometimes going, where's the cooler weather? In fact, I got stopped today asking that very question. When will we cool down? Oh, it's coming. Into the weekend, we'll see some changes there. Right now, it's comfortable, 79 degrees in Greensboro, up to 80 in Winston-Salem, where those beautiful bridges are, 80 in Mount Airy, 78 Asheboro, Burlington at 79. All right, tonight, overnight lows staying a little bit mild, 61 degrees for the overnight low. I think a couple of clouds here and there. Let's go partly cloudy, but mostly sunny. We'll see warmer conditions, and that even warmer than today. That'll be the case for the next 2, possibly 3 days before we see some changes. Saturday, we'll see that front move through. There's actually a chance of a thunderstorm because we're that warm ahead of the front, and then that system goes by and we'll see much cooler air moving in. Radar doesn't show much of anything. I go out to a wider shot just to let you see. Here's a front that's trying to get close to us. Now look at this system. High pressure holds all that back, right? We're sunshine, mostly sunny underneath this thing, and fairly warm because the winds on the left side of that will be coming out of the south. So that'll keep us in the low to mid 80s for the next couple 3 days. Frontal systems, though, they're trying to get here. As long as that's there holding it back, that's not going to happen. This next front, we think, maybe will get here with enough, and there's a good amount of cool air back behind that. So since there's that big difference in the hot air ahead of it and the cool air behind it, we'll go with a 40% chance of showers, maybe thunderstorms on Saturday with a high of 81. Warmest high is Friday at 84, and then for Sunday, clearing and much cooler. Lows will be in the 40s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning. Highs go 69 on Sunday, 70 Monday, 71 Tuesday, and topping out at 72 by next Wednesday.
Actor William Shatner is officially the oldest person to fly into space. Shatner flew earlier today with the crew from Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin. Star Trek's Captain Kirk flew an estimated 66 miles over the West Texas desert in the fully automated capsule, then safely parachuted to the desert floor in a flight that just lasted over 10 minutes. Wow. The actor said the experience was overwhelming.
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I'm so filled with emotion about what just happened. It's extraordinary.
He was almost at a loss for words
so
there.
Emotional
Very
about
emotional. I was reading online that he was saying that like everyone should have an opportunity to experience something like this.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be a little scared to do it. Chilton, what about you?
He would not.
I would. I'd be afraid, but I think if I had the opportunity, I'd have to figure out a way to get through it, because how many times do you get that? Shatner is 90 years
90.
old, by the way.
He's 90?
Yes,
Yeah,
I looked
90
it
years
up
old.
and just to see,
Wow.
90 years old. And it's interesting for me, I was a huge Star Trek fan growing up in all the movies and everything, all the different series. But to see Captain Kirk for the first time actually in space,
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like full circle experience there. If you could go to space, what is one thing you would want to do?
I just think experiencing no gravity would be
Yeah.
the coolest part. Just kind of like floating around, almost like you're flying in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
That'd
be
be
cool to have a selfie with the Earth behind you out the window?
Like what?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be so cool to be able to take a selfie with the moon in the background.
Yeah, I think that probably by the time my daughter Baylor is older, like our age,
Yeah.
that there'll probably be like people going to space all the time.
Yeah, for
like it's just
vacation
gonna be a
and
thing.
things like that.
Oh, I mean, we're not far away from, tours with they have bigger capsules and lots of people going up just because they go up and down in just a matter of minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think someone in the newsroom today said, that's it? I'm like, yeah, you just go up, experience space, come right back down.
All right, very cool. What would you do if you went to space? Let us know on Facebook. We'll be right back after the break.
Have you noticed your eyes are red, itchy, or watery lately? Well, it may not be allergies, it could be dry eye disease. And all the time that we spend on screens could be amplifying those issues. Greensboro native actor and comedian Dr. Jeong is hoping to bring more awareness to dry eye disease. It's something he says he struggled with for years.
I've been wearing contacts for over 35 years, and when I was a medical professional, I was doing overnight hospital shifts and having symptoms of dry eye, like feeling red, irritated, like something's in them. And then once I became a full-time actor, I'm on sound stages, reading off teleprompter, and now I live out here in LA, which is dry weather. And all those factors seem to contribute to my dry eye, and that's when I contacted my doctor.
Jeong is teaming up with ophthalmologist Dr. Ashley Brissett. She says dry eye disease is pretty common, but more people have been experiencing problems in the last year.
Well, I saw a big uptake in patients coming in to be assessed for dry eye disease and dry eye symptoms during the COVID-19 pandemic because our world's just really increased with screen time.
Now, she says common symptoms are discomfort, irritation, feeling like something's in your eye, redness, tearing, or blurry vision. If you're experiencing any of these, she says to go see your eye doctor. And you can also practice the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Also remember to blink. Dr. Brissett says we often don't blink as much when you're looking at a screen. So you may have heard me mention Jeong is from Greensboro. Coming up at 4:30, hear what he has to say about his hometown, his high school, and even WFMY News 2. It was so cool to interview him. I can't wait to talk more about that. But this whole dry eye thing, I mean, I can see how it's become an issue. I notice myself, my eyes get so watery after I look at screens all day.
True.
Same. And when we were talking in the newsroom earlier when you said we actually don't blink when we're looking at the computer, so I was trying to overthink, like, am I blinking?
Blinking like
because
extra.
we stare at screens all day long with what we do for work.
And you can overthink it, right?
Yeah.
You keep looking at it and you're like blinking like
blink,
crazy.
blink.
Right? So what's wrong with Lauren at her desk over there blinking away? It is, I mean, it's true. So I don't know if this is what this was, but I went through a period, and now it's not happening anymore. I don't know why. Where every morning my eyes would just run.
That's how I am.
No idea what that was. And I remember my
so.
mother having it. I remember my mother keeping a tissue in her pocket, and she was always doing this, but then all of a sudden it stopped. I have no idea. I got to call Jeong.
Yeah. Just go to the
He's
doctor.
the expert.
Yep. Yeah, he is a doctor. Yep. Okay. Well, as you're continuing to watch 4 to 5, keep blinking. Okay. Yeah. Don't forget to blink. We'll be right back.
If you blink, you'll miss it. What a great forecast coming up. So it's a little something for everybody, right? If you're one of those, in fact, I talked with someone today, they said they hate cold weather. They like 90 over 30 is what they said to me. I said, well, you know what? Then you'll at least like the next few days that we're unseasonably warm. Maybe not 90. Get a little close one day, but still 79 in the Triad and in Raleigh, 81 in Fayetteville, 77 Myrtle Beach. I myself love upper 70s. That's like, this is perfect weather for me. Hour by hour heading into the night, drop into those 60s, probably as early as I say about 9 p.m., maybe even 8 p.m., somewhere along those routes. We'll get into the 60s. And we stay there for most of the night. I'd say partly cloudy to mostly clear skies in the overnight period. Look for those lows maybe in the low 60s for a lot of us, low to mid 60s, depending on where you are. This one trying to get here, but a big ridge of high pressure is holding this back, and it's not going to release its grip on us for at least a couple, 3 days. I think tomorrow, as we head to Thursday, Friday, and then maybe Saturday, we'll stay in the 80s, but this front should reach us by Saturday, and as that moves through, it's actually this system with that low pressure there. As that comes through, our rain chances finally start to show up, and there's a marked difference, right, on the back side of that front and the front side, so much warmer ahead of the front, and then back behind it, we see cooler air, so much so that we have to go with a 40% chance of maybe even a thunderstorm Saturday afternoon. But before we get there, sunny 83 Thursday, Friday 84, sunshine 81 Saturday. Now much cooler after that. Lows will be in the mid to upper 40s. Highs will be right around 69 to 72 degrees for the first half of next week.
Today is No Bra Day in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime.
It's the most common cancer in America, for American women, except for skin cancers, according to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Now, here's a shocking statistic. Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. There are over 3.8 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S. We often hear about breast cancer impacting women, but it can impact men as well. This year alone, an estimated 2,600 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, I know the saying, national, what is it? No Bra Day?
No Bra Day.
It's kind of silly, but it has a significant meaning.
It does, and I vote that every day be No Bra Day. Because let's just be honest, let's be real.
Just take it
off.
off.
This is a natural thing, but these are so uncomfortable. And it's one of the first things I take off when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know why I'm in this conversation right now.
Yeah, Eric.
Because it's natural.
Wait, let's be honest though, I am celebrating No Bra Day as we speak. So let's just get that right out in the open.
Bravo.
But definitely a great way to bring people's attention to such an important situation that impacts a lot of women in our country.
Yeah, you hear the words No Bra Day and people's ears perk up, I'm sure.
I mean, that's the whole point. You know, it gets your attention, and then it takes you back to where you should be looking, which is basically talking about this problem that we have with breast cancer. I hosted an event over the weekend, and we talked about this. Remember the dachshund races?
Yeah.
So that was for earlier.org, and which is an organization that tries to promote early detection for breast cancer. Here's the best news that Martha, who's the president of that organization, told me. She said, now there's research where they can just do, well, they're almost there, where they can just do a blood test and determine whether you will get breast cancer in the future. The tumor hasn't even developed yet, and she said they're very close to that.
Okay, follow-up story. That's some really great information, and we have lots of other resources about breast cancer on our website, so make sure you check it out there.
We'll be right back.
Mic check.
When's the last time you wrote a personal letter on paper? According to a new CBS poll, most Americans haven't written one in more than 5 years. 15% of people say they've never sent a personal letter. So I asked you on my Facebook page to let me know the last time you wrote a personal letter to someone. Joanne can't remember when she last wrote one, but Dwayne did Monday. Jeong says she writes her grandchildren a letter every week. That's sweet. But George, okay, he wins Father of the Year. He says, I don't know if it counts as a letter, but I wrote a letter to my son and put it in his binder so he would find it at school. I told him what a great son he is and how proud I was to be his dad. And Scotty adds, way longer than 5 years ago. No idea how long. So guys, how long has it been? I typically write letters to my grandmother.
Oh,
she's back in
that's sweet.
Arkansas, just because I know that she likes that. But that's all I do, really.
It's been a while since I've written a letter. I've sent like cards and things like that, and I've received letters from like viewers throughout the years. But it's honestly been years since I've actually written a letter to like a loved one.
It is cool to get a letter that's actually handwritten. I mean, I think you feel more like you've kind of more experienced them more than just an email. But I honestly could not tell you the last time I wrote a full letter. Now, cards and stuff like that, yes.
Yeah.
Not a full letter.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I actually do think I remember the last letter I wrote. I was in 3rd grade, I do believe.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
Pals?
So I remember this because we did a project. This was like around the beginning of the war in Iraq, and my cousin was actually stationed in Iraq, and we all wrote we had personal letters in like gift bags and like care packages that we sent, and I made sure I sent mine directly to him. So that was I think that is the last one I wrote.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is good. We need to do more of that.
I
Because it just
know.
makes people feel extra special to be like, you took the time out to write these words for me.
Yeah, and then you have that to hold on to forever. I know that, some of my grandparents that have already passed away, I have, cards and letters from them that I've held on to because it's so special to me.
Love notes.
Yeah.
I like that
I
when
still have some love notes from high school.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Ooh. I remember my dad wrote me a letter once in college, and there was a coffee stain on the letter itself, and I saved it because of that, because it just reminded me of him. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is sweet. Do kids even write love notes?
They're texting
They
too
just
much.
I
They
don't know.
need to write
Snapchat,
more.
right?
They
Yeah,
need
I
to
would
write.
imagine so. I think the last one I sent was 5th grade, maybe 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
My two
High
little
school
ones
might
get
have been
notes
for
from
me.
kids. They told me they get little notes, I like you, do you like me, check yes or no.
Check yes or no, baby.
Oh, that is
But if you got the maybe
cute.
box, you
Yeah,
hated
if you
it.
got a maybe, you're
Yeah,
gonna cry. It's
didn't
time
like
to cry.
that.
All right, well, speaking of words, have you ever said something and then it happened to you as if you spoke it into existence? In today's U-Day segment, Coach Lamont explains how speaking things into existence is a reminder of how important our words are.
They have no feelings and they have no emotions. They are simply soldiers on a mission to please their master. I am speaking about our words. Our words literally leave our mouths and travel into the atmosphere, build, and then redirect back to our lives the very thing we've spoken. To them, it's all about obedience. Look at your life. If you did an evaluation, can you connect what you see with a word that you spoke? Whether they were spoken directly or indirectly, spoken out of love or hate, your words don't think about your intention. They are merely doing what you desired. Be mindful that every word will bring something to your life, and once they come back, you have to make room for them. It is important that we watch what we say because we'll get what we spoke. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Speaking those words into existence it goes both ways, because I think sometimes when we say negative things like I'm gonna fail this test, or my boss or my friends don't like me, whatever the situation is, sometimes you can psych yourself out and then you can start acting out the things that you think. So saying the positive things will actually help you to make that come to life.
Put you in the right mood.
Yeah, put you in the right mood.
So my wife and I wonder if this is a guy-girl thing, so I'll ask your opinions on this, because I'm just like, I'll say something, I'll be mad, I'll say something, then later on I'm like, okay, we're fine.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, you said that. Like, you can't say that and then and say you didn't mean it. And I'm always like, no, everybody says things when they're angry. And then, so we had to get used to that in the beginning of our relationship. Now I know, stop, count to 10 before you say something. So do you hold on to that
So
if you
it's
argue?
funny because Jake and I are opposite with that. I'm like you. I say something and I forget about it, and then he's like, but you said this earlier.
know.
And I'm like,
Oh.
I didn't know I said that.
I guarantee you this one won't forget.
Yeah, I won't.
That's what I
keep
thought.
everything in here.
Filed away.
Yeah.
I remember when you said that
Yeah.
to me. Oh, my wife will bring stuff up that I don't, it was like 2013. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
She has like the time and the date and the
Yes.
She
stamp.
knows exactly.
Yeah, she'll tell me where we were when that happened. But it is true that if you say something like, I agree with you. If you
Yeah.
say something positive enough,
Enough.
you feel positive.
You start to
yourself.
believe it.
Yeah, I've heard of people like speaking to themselves in the mirror, like today's going to be a good
Yeah.
day. You can do this. You are strong. So maybe we have to try it out.
Waking up to words of affirmation.
All right, we'll take a break. We're coming back.
You are strong.
You
You are
can
You are
do
smart.
this.
You are.
I wish you could have just heard our conversation. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Stacy Spivey, Lauren Coleman, and Jalen Gilkey.
Yeah, thanks for everyone tuning in today. And you can watch us obviously right here on WFOY News 2, but you can watch us on Fire Stick, Roku, our app, on Facebook, all the
over
things.
the
So
place.
many
All over the
options. So Stacy, it's been a couple days now. How are you liking the show?
How we feeling?
We had some
I-
interesting conversations, right?
I'm loving it. I feel so comfortable. I feel like I've been here for a long time on this show, and you guys are so amazing to work with. You bring a great energy, and yeah, it's nice not to have to wake up in the middle of the night anymore.
I bet.
Stacy said that her husband said, you're in a good mood every
Yeah,
day you
just
come
a
home.
ray
And I
of
said, That's
sunshine.
us.
It
That's what
is.
we're doing.
It's y'all.
Yeah, it's not Jalen. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, lots of fun to be had, but we want to jump into another story. From splitting the dinner bill to helping pay for gas, cash apps like Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal make for paying for certain expenses a breeze. But a new IRS rule will require folks to report Cash App transactions to the feds. Starting January 1st of 2022, Cash App business transactions of more than $600 will be needed to be reported to the IRS. Before the new rule, business transactions were only reported if they were more than $20,000. CPA Kimberly Morrow of Taylor Pro Tax and Beyond in Greensboro says this change doesn't apply to personal expenses like, say, groceries or spending money with friends and family. She says the rule is meant to crack down on self-employed workers who receive income through the apps.
So basically, people that's like hairstylists or if you have like an entertainment or if you just earn an income from Cash App, basically they're gonna, if you make over $600, you're gonna have to start paying taxes on that money. And most of the time, those the income that you do report from Cash App, it should already be on your tax return when you do claim your self-employment.
So Murrow says this can be complicated, especially for self-employed workers who use Cash App for both personal and business transactions. She recommends working with a professional bookkeeper to keep track of transactions that are taxable from those that aren't.
Most people don't want to keep up with receipts, and plus receipts, they fade over time. And then when you have all these electronic transactions come in, it doesn't have a category. And then at the end of the tax, like when you about to do your taxes, and then you have a lot that you have to separate when it's time to do your taxes. So it can be a headache.
Being self-employed is a bonus in times like this when employers are dealing with a worker shortage. The U.S. Labor Department says a record 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs in August. That is the highest number ever recorded. CBS News analyst Jill Schlesinger said the pandemic pushed many people to rethink their careers.
Those folks who were basically saying, I learned a lot about myself, my family. I want a better work-life balance, and I've got to figure out how to do that. What's really clear to me is this will persist, and it is something that is staying in this labor force.
Before you quit your job, experts say consider these factors, including how you'll take care of your health insurance, reinvesting retirement accounts, and save money for an emergency fund.
If you're on Social Security, expect a boost in benefits next year. Millions of retirees will get the biggest cost of living adjustment in 39 years, with a nearly 6% increase. This follows a burst in inflation with a struggling economy during the pandemic. The estimated average payment for a retired worker is currently $92 a month, and next year it's estimated to rise to more than $1,600 a month.
Have you noticed at the grocery store products are getting smaller, but prices are rising? It's called shrinkflation. For example, some oatmeal packets of 10 are now 8, and tuna cans are down 2 ounces. A marketing expert says companies have learned consumers don't like price increases, which will lead them to switching brands. She says we focus on cost over quantity and cost over quality.
We'll come to realize that maybe it isn't necessarily devious or sneaky, but necessary for business, necessary to keep providing us the products that we want to be able to use.
Now, if you haven't noticed any price hikes, experts say you will soon. Now, part of the reason for those price hikes are these clogged ports. In an effort to help the supply chain, the Port of Los Angeles will become a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. The White House said it's helping move stranded container ships that are driving prices up for U.S. consumers. Ports in L.A. account for 40% of all shipping containers entering the states.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Walmart wants to hire 150,000 workers. The company wants to hire for the holiday season, but says most of those positions have become permanent to full-time jobs. Hourly wages start at $16.40, and some in-store jobs pay as much as $34 per hour. Walmart also recently offered to pay college tuition and book prices for associates in school. Holiday shipping deadlines are now out for the FedEx, USPS, and UPS. If you want your packages to reach their destination on time through USPS, you can send first-class mail and packages by December 17th, priority mail by the 18th, and priority mail express by the 23rd. Now, depending on how you want your package shipping through FedEx, you can send packages as late as the 23rd or Christmas Eve. USPS recommends checking their website for ground shipping suggestions, and you can send packages as late as the 22nd or the 23rd. Home Alone. Again, Disney Plus released their trailer for the Home Alone reboot. Home Sweet Home Alone portrays Max Mercer, who's left behind at home while the family travels to Japan for the holidays. The 10-year-old has to protect his home from a married couple trying to steal an heirloom. The first trailer gives a spoiler alert on the return of at least one member of the McAllister family. Kevin McAllister's older brother Buzz has grown up to be a police officer and responds to a call at the home. Now, reports suggest Macaulay Culkin may have a cameo, but those reports are not confirmed. The movie premieres on November 12th. Well, I'm excited about this. This is absolutely one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Oh, Home Alone is such a classic. I am really keeping my fingers crossed that Macaulay Culkin will be on there.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard those reports, so hopefully the rumors
He
are
has
true.
to be in there. I mean, it was his movie.
And you can't, but I don't know if you can remake that. You know, I don't know. I would rather see Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin, as the
Main
grown-up
character?
who left
Yeah.
his own kid at home by mistake. You know what I mean? Like, that would be great if he's the dad. And then that's the only way I think I would watch it. I'm a big cynic when it comes to reboots because usually they don't match up.
Well, I don't want to put this person on blast, but Avery, he said that he never saw the original Home Alone.
What?
What?
Yeah, he never saw it. That's
Do
what
we
he
need
said
to have
couple
like
weeks
a
ago.
watch party
Yeah,
or
we
something?
need to have a watch party and then we
Absolutely.
can watch this reboot after.
That's one of the great. I think it's one of the greatest like family movies ever.
It is.
Not just
I think so.
holidays.
You filthy animal.
I love when he had the little cardboard cutouts that made it look like everybody was having a party. That was so funny.
I think my favorite part is, which I have my hands full, but when he puts his hands on his face.
Oh yes.
I think that's on the cover of the film too.
It is.
It is. My
very
kid
classic.
Tyler, you know, he had blonde hair, and I swear he looked like Kevin when he was little. And we used to get him to do that in the mirror all the time and take pictures. We posted it all the time. So funny.
I'd love to see that. All right, what's your favorite part of the movie? Let us know on Facebook.
So you know the term farm to table, we've heard that a lot, it's been around a while, but a restaurant in downtown Greensboro, brand new by the way, is taking this to new heights. I spoke with owner Tara Mosley about how she and her husband Sean Reeves are running this venture, as well as what does the name mean? Welcome to Seal and Sco. Tara, thanks for taking time out. You guys are slammed because you're opening at the end of this week, so I appreciate you taking a break. Tell me a little bit, the first thing that I think of, and I think everybody says, is what is Seal and Sco? Like, tell me what the name means.
We absolutely love that it's that it's a conversation starter. People are always asking, so you fit right in with that. Lucille and Roscoe Reeves are Sean's paternal grandparents. They are both no longer with us. but this restaurant is a complete ode to them.
So also talk about, you guys have a local farm, right? So this is truly you guys doing it all from start to finish. You don't see that very often.
Right. Well, I won't say we're doing it all. We have a lot of people on board that help us out. My parents started looking for 10 to 20 acres. It turned into an unbelievably beautiful 60-acre farm in Brown Summit that we now all reside in campers on. Quite the adventure. While we wait on our homes to be, we're gonna do some home builds out there. My parents should start shortly. But yeah, he owns, operates. Right now they only have like one other person on staff that comes and helps him with the garden. Garden's about an acre. That's plenty for a restaurant of our size. The rest of the farm will be used eventually as a wedding venue. We grow some hay out there right now. We'll have some livestock eventually that we'll hopefully be able to utilize in the restaurant. Yes, it is true farm to table, and then we kind of fill in the gaps with other farms just within the state.
Real quick, just tell me what type of food will we see when you guys open this weekend?
In 2 words, Southern redefined. So we're showing and teaching people that Southern food doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be a meat and 2 sides, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. It can be trendy, it can be eclectic, it can be fresh, it can be healthy. It can still be some of that old comfort familiarity, right? But in kind of a new light.
This is truly unique. I interview a lot of restaurants, but you guys are probably the most unique I've seen in a long time. Good luck this weekend. So she said her father, and she said unbeknownst to any of us, he never said this to us. He said, I've always wanted to have a farm. So now that he got older, they said, well, let's do all this together. So they bought like 60 acres up off of Highway 150, and they're actually building their homes on the farm.
Wow.
So her parents and she and her husband are gonna live there. They're gonna farm the land and come down and run that restaurant. And that's right on Elm Street where the old 1618 used to be down there. So it's prime real estate.
I think this is a great way just to teach people about different types of foods that are out there, different ways to cook food. I like how she said comfort food doesn't always have to be heavy, and there are other alternatives.
You know, Lauren, that was something that stuck with me as well. And I like my comfort food to be heavy. I like it to give me the itis and put me right to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to try this new interpretation of a light and, you know, a little bit healthier and not so heavy Southern comfort food.
All about balance.
Yeah, I actually walked past this new restaurant downtown this past weekend. My husband and I were kind of like looking around. We were like, wow, that looks really cool. It has a neat vibe inside. So I'm excited to see what it's all about. And now my tummy is rumbling.
Yes,
I'm hungry.
now you know. It's Seal and Sco as in Lucille and Roscoe.
I have another like team building exercise.
That we all go there.
That we all go there.
I like that.
And Eric Pace.
And we actually do it.
Yes,
Thanks,
yes.
Jalen.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you, sir.
You better wait and see what happens. We'll be right back.
Oh boy. Do I need to turn this? Should I stand in the middle this time?
Check this out. Earlier in the show, we talked about dry eye disease and how actor and comedian Jeong suffers from it. You probably recognize him from movies like The Hangover and Crazy Rich Asians, but did you know he's from Greensboro? I asked him about growing up in the Triad, and guess what? He's a News 2 fan.
And I'm proud to call Greensboro my home. I just want to give my love to everybody there. Shout out to Page Pirates, Greensboro, Page in the house. I grew up on WFMY. Much love to everybody there. I'm just, I'm honored to speak to you. Thank you, Stacey.
I know.
You are so cool.
You got the interview of the day.
I know, he was so genuine. You know, sometimes with celebrities, you're not really sure what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You could tell he meant what he said. He did grow up watching News 2. He loves all of us here, and he was just so sweet. And fun fact, his parents still live here, so they may be watching. Hey,
Hey. I told Stacey right after that. I told Ken because I was totally fanboying out, wasn't I, Stacey?
Yes, you were.
I ran up to while she's doing the interview and like interrupted. I told him that his parents were at a fundraiser I did for the Greensboro Symphony a couple years ago. When I found out they were there, I had to go and gush over him. I think he is hilarious. He is so
funny.
Absolutely, hilarious character. And it's so interesting to see all the famous talent that we have that comes from right here in the Triad. I mean, we got athletes, we got actors, business moguls. I mean, anything
Country singers.
Anything you want, you can find it right here in the Triad.
Yeah. Talented area, and we're very proud of our folks here.
He was, I think he went to Duke undergrad and then Carolina Med School, but he's a big Duke fan. So I told him, I said, you know, I went to Carolina, and then he was like, oh, okay. He goes, but I'm a Grant Hill Duke fan. That's what he said. Jalen, I thought about that, and I said, I need to tell Jalen, because Grant Hill is like my favorite Duke player.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying. If you were a fan of the Duke in the late 90s, then you're a true fan of Duke basketball.
Yeah, sounds like he was. He was great.
I'm not saying anything right now.
We'll be right back.
We'll take a break.
How about those heels, Eric?
That's right.
Get that planning day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Had a very successful career. Hey, we're talking here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon.
I'm gonna have to do that. Hey, Callie, mic check 1, 2, 3.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
10-9-876-54321.
It's time for my 2 cents. Fans cheering in the stands, the smell of fresh popcorn and fries, and the great sounds of the blue and gold marching machine. I'm talking about North Carolina A&T football season. I went to my first game Saturday since I moved here to the Triad, and it was awesome. I'm not a stranger when it comes to the Aggies. My sister is a 2-time A&T graduate. I have memories of helping her move into her dorm when I was in high school and watching her in the homecoming parade as Miss Pink Tea Rose for our great sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. I always look forward to visiting her on campus. So when my coworker Sydney Moore asked me to go to the game, I was thrilled. I'll admit, I'm not the biggest football fan, but the overall game experience is what I love. The devoted fans chanting Aggie pride, the cheerleaders hyping up the crowd, and a halftime show out of this world. The HBCU football experience is like no other. After more than a year of canceled events, it feels great for all of us to gather with friends and neighbors and to meet others in the community. I can't wait to see and experience all the Triad has to offer. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now. Almost 20 years later, and the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office said federal investigators are reopening the Short family murder case.
9-year-old Jennifer Short and her parents were killed in 2002. Deputies say Mike and Mary Short were shot to death in their Virginia